everybody. Happy Sunday. So is everybody ready for a little bit of software fun tonight? These are my favorite classes. I just love software. In fact, I actually started teaching classes. I think the first classes I taught were software classes. So I've always liked working in the software and just making something. That I think people work or learn the best by just making something from start to finish. So that's usually what I do in a software class. Instead of just showing a technique, I like to actually make a project from start to finish. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And we're going to make one of the little, sorry, I'm going to have a hot flash now. Let me turn my fan on here. Whew, I get warm. I get warm out here. It's a really nice day, and it's like quite warm out here in my sewing room. It's about 75 degrees out here. So the sun comes in and it gets quite warm. So anyway, we're going to make this little mini quilt. And we've made several of these. I'm sorry, my light's kind of glary. We've made several of these over the last few years. And I just wanted one that was for St. Patrick's Day. So I just thought this was awfully cute. And I just did an Irish Blessing. And there's quite a few different Irish Blessings. This is the one I happened to choose. I found it and I thought it was cute. And then this design here is actually one of the older free designs that used to come, with the software. I've got freebies back to like 2009. I think 2009 or 2010. So this was an old one. I think it might have been 2011. So I just thought that was really pretty though. And it's stitched out real nice. And, some of the other ones we've done, we did Welcome Spring. We did this about a year or two ago. And we did an Easter bunny. And this was done with, gosh, I'm sorry that I'm having some glare here. And, the Easter Bunny, and we did America the Beautiful. That's another one we did. Now, these are all on the group in the Dropbox. So if you didn't get to watch these, you can watch the videos on YouTube. Go to Sew Along with Jan on YouTube, and then go to the playlist, Dime Perfect Embroidery Pro, and these are all in there, okay? And then if you go to my group or in the description of the video, there'll be the files that you need to make this. So, and also if you don't have software, if you're watching tonight, you don't have software, there's a PES file so you can actually make all of these. So, all right. So we did this one. This one was fun. This was a little Halloween one. If the Shoe Fits. That one was fun. Now these two are little quilts, and we made these in the Design Center IQ Designer in the machine. So these were a couple of the other ones we made. So these have been fun. I like to have seasonal things to hang up in the living room. So I've got these hanging up in my living room. So we're gonna make a St. Patty's Day one. We hadn't done that one of those before. I'm going to try to get this close to me so I can read the words here. I want to make sure that I don't think I wrote them down on my piece of paper here, so I'll have to read them off my little thing. Let me see. Oh, maybe I did. Okay. All right. So let's turn off the banner. How is everybody tonight? Yes, my kitty is sitting on the floor, but there's no room on my desk for the kitty. She thinks there's room up here, but if she gets up here, she will cause all kinds of havoc. So hopefully she won't jump. We'll see if she wants to help me out. So the other thing I worked on today, just so you know, is I just posted on the group for a new scan and cut class that we'll do in March. It's the third weekend. So it'd be I think it's the 19th or something like that. So we're going to make this little box. This is a toolbox for the scan and cut. So it says tools on the side, scan and cut, tools, and then it has my name on the top. Okay, so these are little boxes. You can get these at the Dollar Tree, and they usually have different colors of them. So this is what we're going to work on. That'll be a scan and cut class we'll do in March. I thought that was kind of fun. And I'll show you the class for next week, because we're going to go back to making some of the, work on another cutie. So we're going to be working on the April cutie. So, all right, so we hide the banner there, and let's just get into the software. So what I did with this I just wanted it to be fun and easy. We haven't had a software class in Perfect Embroidery Pro for a few months. We did PE design last month, and so I just wanted to kind of do something fun and easy. And so this is the way I make a lot of designs. So I make a design, I'll make one design, which we did from like this one here. We made from start to finish. Okay. And we did all of the lines, for the batting and the trimming and all that stuff. Okay. But you don't have to always do that every single time. You can just start with something you've already made. Okay. So the for those of you on YouTube, the file of stuff that you need to make this design that we're going to make tonight is in the link to it is on the description. And for those of you who are in the group watching, because that's where you're watching now, you can go to the first post in the featured section and click on the Dropbox links and software, and it's called Irish Blessing. Okay, so there's going to be some files in there that you can use. Okay, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with something we already made. So give me a second here. I gotta share my screen with you, and then I'm going to bring up my software. So let me get my screen shared, entire screen, and then I have to do one other thing. There we go. Okay. So I've got my software sitting here. In a second, you should see my software. And I've got my software open. We're going to be working in Perfect Embroidery Pro. So this is the main software that Dime has. This is their main digitizing software. They have other softwares, of course. And then last week on Shields Live, we talked a little bit about the free version of Embroidery Toolshed, which you can add very inexpensively, add some a lettering font pack to, and then you get quite a lot of nice editing abilities. So, but this is the paid version. This is the standard Perfect Embroidery Pro. And I've been using this since about 2007. So this is a really good software. It's very user-friendly. Did you see the little freebie? So the new freebies, this little thing comes up when you open the software. And it's called My Inspiration Today. So there's some stuff on here. So we'll just look at it real quick. They give you the link to the free design. Okay, so there's a free design. Gigi, come on. Sorry, my cat is trying to come sit on my lap. So there's free design. I think they do it almost every week. And if you click there, it'll take you to the page on the Dime website where you can, you kind of have to put them in the cart and purchase them, but they're free. Okay. So they have a bunch of little designs. These are a bunch of the designs that have been going on for the year of 2023. And I think they do one a week. So they have some cute ones here. Okay. I really thought the little eggs were cute here. So anyway, that's where you go to get those. So if I close that, okay, just a second here, sorry. And then also on the same screen, there's a little bar here that says click here for software supportive. So if you need some help. Oh yeah, I mean, this software, I think it's every Thursday. Yes, thanks, Cindy. Yeah, I think it's every Thursday when she does her Between Friends show on Facebook. So, but there's a place here you can get to your software support if you need to email to Dime to have help. You can book software lessons. So if you want to pay for some lessons from them, you can do that as well. Here's more free designs. These are they give you 2 links to the free designs. So, all right, let me get this down. And then these are the previous free monthly designs. Now there were a lot of designs, and these go back quite a ways. So if you go in here, if you just click on Perfect Embroidery Pro, you'll see there's lots and lots of designs here, and you can still download all of these all the way back to 2017. Okay, so there's lots of designs here. So if you don't have these, go ahead and get them downloaded because there's a lot of nice designs in here. Okay, so I'll close a couple of these windows here. And all right. Okay, so then also on my Inspiration Day screen, it allows us to wake up our software. So this comes up. This will not come up if you're not on the internet. So if you happen to be somewhere that you're not on the internet, it will actually not open up. Okay, so I'm on the internet here, of course, so it opens up. So I'm going to click the little button down here that says create a new design. So I'm just going to create a new design, and it's going to open up my embroidery tool shed. So I'm in, excuse me, I'm in Perfect Embroidery Pro. If you're not sure what software you're in, because I have multiple softwares and sometimes I move back and forth between them. If you go down to in the sequence view here, if you go down on the little tabs at the bottom, there's one that looks like a shopping cart. Okay. And it gives you a list of all the different softwares that Dime has. And then if you own that software, there'll be a little yellow check mark next to it. Okay. And in my case, I've got a lot of them because I've used quite a lot of this software. Okay. And the Perfect Embroidery Pro has the check mark next to it. But if I want to see if this is the one I'm in, if I click the little options button, you notice that it does not say make default. So if I look on like Word Art and Stitches and click the little three little dots, it says make default. That means I am in Perfect Embroidery Pro. And it normally, if you have that, will default to that unless you've told it to do something different. Do I have a favorite software? My favorite software is Perfect Embroidery Pro. I do use some of the other ones. I really like the lace software. And I also really like Word Art and Stitches because it has some really nice fonts and stuff. So I use also Perfect Stitch Viewer is a little viewer program, and I love that program because then you can see the pictures of the designs on your computer. So but I've had Perfect Embroidery Pro since, for a long time. So I really like this software. I've used PE Design for many, many years. I also like it, but I mostly do photo stitch in that now. I find this more user friendly, and it's much easier to edit in. So, but PE Design's good. I still use it for certain things. Okay, so we're going to make something from something we already had. So in the folder that I will link in below the description on YouTube, below the video, I will link this. And it's on the group, okay, in the Dropbox. I'm going to open up. So let's just click open. And I'm going to open up. It's down on my desktop right now. And I'm going to open up something that we made before. Oops, where'd it go here? Oh, here it is. Something that we made before. And we made a little design called Welcome Spring. So I gave you in this folder Welcome Spring, and I gave you the C2S file. In other words, I gave you the working file that I made for that. It's not the PES, it's just the working file. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up Welcome Spring because we don't need to work so hard that we have to get all of this other stuff done. We can just work with part of it. Okay. So we will start with the design, and I am going to then look at what parts are here. So if I look down here in the sequence view, right now I'm on my purchases, but I want to look at the sequence view, which is the first little tab. And I am going to look at what I need to keep to do my new one. Okay. So I need to keep a few of the steps because they are already made, and then I don't have to do them again. So I need the first step, which is going to be the batting placement line. Okay. And then I also need step number 2, which is going to be my batting tack down line. Just a second, my cat's trying to come join me again. I have to put my hand in her face, and it usually gets her to stop. Okay. And then the third step is the front fabric tack down line. So and I'll go through the sewing at the end so you understand what I'm talking about. Step number 4 in this design was the quilting. So it's my stippling. Okay. And then step number 5 was my decorative stitch around the outside edge, my little asterisk looking little decorative stitch. Okay. So we all need all of those steps because we need those in order to finish this like we did that. And then we didn't have to redigitize everything. We already had them. Okay. But we also need the final step that sews the back on, because this had a backing on it. And so I sewed it together in the hoop with like an envelope backing. So we also need that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the stuff in between because we don't need the other items because we're going to put something else in here. So let's go ahead and look at our sequence view over here. So we know we need the first 5 items, and then the next few items we don't need. So I'm just going to click on each color here, and I'm going to click delete on my keyboard. And we're just going to start deleting the pieces we don't need. So I'm just going to click on these colors as I'm going. So I'm getting rid of the bee. Now we're getting rid of the flower. We don't need that for this one. Don't need the flower center. Let's see. I don't need the words. So we'll click those. All right. But I do need the final step, which is that outline that is going to be the sew the back on. Okay. So we do need that. All right. So we've got the first 5 items and then the last item that we're going to keep those. Okay. So does everybody understand what I did? So basically right now we took a design that we already had and we're editing it to make it a new design. Okay. So the next part we're going to do then is I'm going to bring in the that pretty little clover design. And there's a couple of ways to do that. Okay. So if you happen to have these old free designs and have them loaded on your computer, I'm going to show you where you would find those. I have all of those designs and they're loaded on my computer. So I'm going to look under my sequence view at the tabs again, and there's another one that says designs. So if I click on designs, it looks kind of like a little book. There's a little thing here, and let me pull this up so you can see it just a little bit better. It says free monthly designs. Okay, so all of my freebies are in here. And if I click the little plus sign next to it, it's going to open up a whole bunch of little boxes. Do I save it? No. No, my spring one, I've already got it saved. We're going to save over this. You can if you want to, Barb. I usually don't. I usually save at the end, but you can if you want to, because I'm not going to ruin my other spring one, because I'm going to go file save as, and it won't compromise my original design. So we're good. Okay. So this particular one was in March of 2011. So my free designs here, I have them by month. So let's go find the month of March. I'm going to click the little plus sign next to March, and then I'm going to look in March 2011. If I click on that, so there's all these pretty little clover designs. I thought they were really pretty. So one way, if you happen to have that on your computer and you can get them this way, all you have to do is go grab it and pull it in. And it just brings it right in like that. So that's a pretty easy way to get them. Okay. If you don't, I gave you this design in the folder, okay, that I talked about. And if you need to bring it in a different way, I'm just going to click undo. The other way you could bring it in is to go to File and Merge, because we need to bring it into this design, not another design. If you click File Open, it'll open another page. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We want to merge it. It is, I have to say, it is a good way to have them, Lynn. I always install them. I have them all on a USB stick, and I just always install them on my computer so that they're in the folders. So yeah, I have all these. I don't have any of the new ones from like the end of last year and the beginning of this year. I don't have the new ones though. I just have, these are the old ones up through like last year when they started the new deal, like around the 1st of September. I have all of them back all the way to when they started doing this, like 2010. So I have all the old original ones. So I should try to get some of them. I don't have any of them from last year, and I can get the ones from this year yet. So I'll probably get busy and get those downloaded one of these days. So anyway, we're gonna merge this in. So if I click File and Merge, then I can go back to my desktop where my folder is that I had my Irish Blessing stuff on. And then I can get my clover. It was called Clover 1. And I can get that design and bring it in. Okay. So that's the two ways to do it. It just depends on if you have these designs on your computer. I just happen to, but not everybody does. Okay. All right. So we got that in. And I'm going to kind of center it. I'm not going to make it a particular size. We can resize these. Hi, Kathy. So we can resize these. So what I'm going to do, and the design I brought in came into my workspace centered. So it's centered on the 0 line up here and down here. So everything's kind of centered already. But I think what I want to do is make this just a little bit bigger so it goes out towards the outside. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to pull it out from the corner and just make it just a little bit bigger so that it almost fills the side to side. And I think that looks pretty good. And then what I like to do, I'm going to bring this up towards the top, towards the decorative stitch. And the middle node right here on the selection boxes, I want to put that right on my 0 line so that then I know it's nice and centered. So I'm just going to kind of take my control key and my little arrow keys on my computer, and I'm just going to bump it over just a little bit. You might still need to bump it up a little bit too. So we'll see how it goes when we get our letters in here. So I think I like that. Okay, so we've merged a design in, and then we have just drawn it out from if you draw it out from a corner, it's going to bring out your design in aspect ratio. In other words, it will bring it out in, together and not elongate it or make it taller or skinny or something. Oh, March, what year? It was March of 2011, Lynn. So they're old ones. Like I said, I have them all the way back to, I think 2010 is when I have them back to. I know that I have, and they didn't have all of 2010. I think that's the year they started. So I don't have the whole year. I think there was a couple of months missing. So anyway, I have a lot of designs. I just don't have last year's because it was last year, I think in September, they started doing the new freebie. So I need to go get the ones for this year. So I have those, but I'm missing like September, October, November, December. I think there was only 4 or 5 there. Where was the Welcome Spring? Welcome Spring, Jackie, is also, I will link it in under the YouTube video, and then it is in the Dropbox on Facebook. You have to go to the first post on this Facebook group, and also and click on the featured post. It's the very first post, and it's under software. So it's going to be under Welcome Spring. Okay. Your designs don't go back that far. See, I've had this software. Okay. So this is the story with, we've known, some of you know this story and some of you don't. Depends on when you got it. This software originally years ago when we got it in 2007 was branded Floriani. And there was a division in 2014. So a lot of those old designs from like 2009 through 2014 were branded Floriani. So I have all of those old ones. So if you only had Dime Perfect Embroidery Pro, you probably wouldn't have those older ones. And then we got the software back a few years after that, 2014, like 2017, I think we got it back. And it's so nice to have the software back because it's way user-friendly. I've always loved this software. I was so glad that we became a Dime dealer so we could get this software back because it's just always been my favorite. Okay. So that was kind of the story. But that's why some of these old ones you may not have them, because they were actually Floriani designs. So if you never had the Floriani version of the software, you wouldn't have had those. Okay, so we have our clovers up there. I thought they were really pretty. I thought those are really pretty. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some lettering now. So, we're just going to get, oh, did find it, Lynn? Okay. So we're going to go get our text tool. So the text tool is the T. I'm going to go get my letter T. I'm going to come down here and just click on the workspace somewhere. And I am going to choose, and we're going to write an Irish Blessing. So we're just going to write the Irish Blessing that I did. Let's see. I chose a really cool font. 2017. I think, yeah, because they actually got it in 2014. So 2014 is when that happened. And I can't remember, it was at the end of 2014, like in the summer. So, but it's been, and then they switched in last year to the website for the freebies. So like I said, I don't have the ones from last year. So, but I'm going to go get the ones for this year. I just need to add them because I haven't done it. So, okay, so let's write out our little Irish Blessing. So I did this in a couple of fonts. I did the regular bigger blessing in the Old English font. So that's a really kind of neat font. So I'm going to go over here to my fonts, and I'm going to go down to Old English. Let's see here. Oops, I think I missed it. There we go. Old English. Okay. And there's two Old Englishes. One is completely written out and one is like shortened. And I use the one that's completely written out, just so you know. And what I'm going to do, so there's a couple ways to do this. If you have trouble typing in the little box up here, you can actually type like in a word processor. And sometimes I do that. I type in a word processor and then it has spell check also, because Jan's not always a good speller. And what's neat about that is then I can just copy that and I can paste it in the box up here. So this properties box where I'm going to type, or this is not a real long thing, so I'm just going to type it in. Okay. So you guys are supposed to watch me to see if I'm able to spell. So this is what we're going to write. I'm going to write, may your troubles. Whoops. As you're supposed to watch me. And then I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, bring it down to the next line. Be less, period. And then I'm going to hit enter again. Blessings, be more, and then period. And then I'm going to hit enter again, drop it down to another line. And nothing, nothing. That's why I usually type this in a word processor. And nothing but, and I'm going to hit enter, happiness come, and then I'm going to hit enter again, through your door, and then period. Okay, so I typed in, let's see. Oh, and I think I might have put, let me look at mine. I might have put like quotes. So it's like a quote. So I think I put quotes up here next to the word may. So I'm going to put quotes on, like it's somebody's quoting it, and then go down to the bottom behind door and then put quote like that. I think that's how I did it. Let me look at my design. Yeah, that's how I did it with the quotes. Okay. So I typed quotes, may your troubles, and then enter, be less, period, and then I hit enter again, blessing. I think is it blessing or blessings? I think it's blessings. So see, that's why it's good. Check it over again. Blessings, be more, period. And then I hit enter, and nothing but happiness. And then I hit enter, happiness come. And then I hit enter again, through your door. And then I put period and then the quotes. Okay. Oh, do I have your? I have you. Thank you, guys. You're supposed to be watching me. May your troubles be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your. No, I have your in both of them, I think. May your troubles be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. I think I got it. May your troubles, that's why I like the word processor. May your troubles be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come. Is it supposed to be come or comes? Come. I think it's happiness come through your door. It's only one come through your door. Okay. All right. So I think I got it. So I just left, I put the enters in there so that it would drop down and be on multiple lines. Okay. Still at the beginning, may you versus your. No, I've got that. May your, yes. I'm sorry. May your. Thank you. May your troubles be less and your blessings be more. Thank you. Nothing but happiness come through your door. Okay. Did we get it? Did we get it? You have you on the first line. Yes. Yes, I got that. Thank you very much. All right. So I think I got it. I know it's right on my sample. So, woohoo. Okay. That's why I like to do this in a word processor. So I often do that because then it catches stuff if I spell it wrong. So if you just do it like in, I just have Microsoft Works or Microsoft Word, or you can do it in Google Docs, just type it out. And then it's better about getting the misspellings. So that's how I usually do longer words when I'm doing them. Okay. All right. So I want to use a certain height. I discovered that a certain height worked pretty well. The height of my letters, I want them to be 0.4 inches. So I'm in inches. And then I want my line spacing I want my line spacing instead of 25% to be 50%. So I need it to be a little bit further apart because some of the letters go below, the line of the letters. Okay. And then I want it to be aligned in the center. So in other words, it's going to be centered on each other. Okay. So I'm going to leave that at center. You can also be, aligned to the left or the right, but I'm going to leave it on center. My font was Old English. Okay. I think that's everything we need. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click the apply button down here and see what happens. Woohoo. All right, that looks pretty good. Pull the blessing out from the sides to fit the space, move up and down towards the clover design. So I thought that the 0.4 inches worked pretty well, but it still needed to be a little bit bigger. So we can fix that. I like to get rid of my text tool at this point because you can see I still have the letter A on my cursor over here. I have problems with that because I always pull a letter out. Okay. So we're going to go over here and get our selection tool first before we mess with this. And then I can get the whole thing at the same time. All right. So I think I'm going to need to move my clovers up just a little bit more. I don't want them to hit my little pretty decorative border. And then I think I might need to move this over. Let's see. And I'm going to make it a little bit, it doesn't need to be any taller. But I need to pull it out a little bit. And it's okay to skew things just a little. So I'm actually going to pull it out from the sides and just make it a little wider so that it will fill the space just a little bit better. And it doesn't make it look funny. Okay. And I still could bring this up a little bit. Let's take our clover and just move it up just a little bit further. I think that looks better. Oh, everything just hit the floor. The cat went flying. So I'm also going to I like to center things. You can center things around the center here. You could make it slightly larger, Shannon, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that center node so that I'm on my 0 line, so I know it's centered. And I'm just using my little bump keys to do that. And I'm going to move this up just a little bit further because I want it to be, I'll leave a little space at the bottom so I can put like a little author at the bottom. Okay. All right. So I think that looks pretty good. And what Shannon was asking is if we wanted the M to be bigger, you know, like the first word, you could do that. Go back and get your text tool, okay, and click on your words. And then all these other little diamonds and all these little things in here let us do things. So one of the things it would let us do is to just choose the M. So you can see I've got just boxes around the letter M, and then I could just actually make just that one letter bigger, you know, if I wanted to make it bigger. Okay. So in this case, I don't. I'm going to leave it smaller, but that's how you would choose just one letter. You have to use your text tool, and then you choose, there's like a black diamond in the center. Okay. Nope, the end quote's in there. I got the end quote. Okay. So then the black diamonds in the center are the ones that you click to work with just that one specific letter. The B in troubles. Yeah, it is. So see, it's a little bit too high. So what I think I'm going to end up doing, let me go back to my clovers. And I think I need to actually just make them just a little bit. I'm just going to squish them in a little bit like that. I think that'll be fine. We'll just squish them in a little bit. How about that? That look better? Then I can raise this up a little bit more. How about that? So I just squished my clovers just a little bit, just to make them a little narrower. Okay. It depends on the Jan. It depends on the font. Sometimes the quotes will be both the same way, and sometimes the quotes will be opposite of each other, like mirror images. This particular one, they're both the same way. So it looks like the first ones are backwards, but this is how it does it. I might be able to flip them over though by using the text tool. So let's see if it would let me flip them over. And I think I can choose just that one item, and then let me see if it will let me flip it. I don't think it will. Let's see if it'll let me do anything to flip it. I'm looking over in in there. And I know I can rotate it, but I don't know that I can flip it. I can select it. Let's see. And it doesn't give me any of those options. So I don't think I can. Some of the letters, depending on the type of font, they have certain things that are set. So I would guess it's probably set like that. And my sample is like that too. But it looks fine when it's stitched out. Okay. So may your troubles be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. So we got that done. Okay. Now let's do a little like postscript or like a little author down at the bottom. And I did that again with the text tool. So let's go get our text tool again. We'll just click over here on the white somewhere. No, the mirror won't work evidently, because when I selected my text tool and I selected just that one item, I can select that and I can rotate it, but it doesn't let me mirror it. It lets me make it bigger, lets me rotate it, but it doesn't let me flip it. I'm looking at everything that I don't think it'll let me flip it though. Let's check one thing over here. Nope. I was just looking to see if there was anything over in the selection box or in the properties box, but I don't see anything. And the mirror buttons are grayed out. No, because there's only one quotes key on your keyboard normally, Cindy, unless there's two on yours. There's only one on mine. So in other words, I can't change it. So that must be the way it is on this particular font. It just depends on the font, I think, how they do it. Okay. So let's do the second. Let's go get our text tool again. And we're going to go down here and get our new word. And I'm going to put like a little dash. And then I'm going to use Irish Blessing at the bottom. Okay. And I think I used a script font for that. So let me see. I used Brittany. So let's go down and find Brittany. And it's kind of a nice script font. And then I used 0.3 inches. So let's just type in the height at 0.3. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to type a dash. So I'm going to put a dash in, and then I'm going to put Irish Blessing. Okay. And I'm going to click apply. And you can see that it's kind of like way out in Never Never Land. So I'm going to go up to the top here where the zoom is, and I'm going to go to fit so I can see my Irish Blessing. I'm going to select it with I'm going to go over and get before I try to move it, because otherwise I'll have letters all over the place. I am going to choose a select key instead of the text tool, and I'm going to pull this down, and we're going to put it down here towards the bottom. Okay. And it looks like it might be just a little bit big. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it in just a little bit. Let's see here. We might be able to move our lettering up a little bit. So I know I had to play with this a little bit to get it kind of in the all on here. There was a lot of stuff. So I did play with the size of the clovers just a little bit so I could move this up just a hair. I'm just playing with the sizes, and I'm just moving this up just a little bit. All right. I think I can go up just a little bit more. Like that. And then let's go, oops. See if I can get my Irish Blessing down here again. Pull it up a little bit so it's not down in the decorative stitch. Okay. And let's see. And then, we got that little tail hanging down with the G. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of trying to put it in like the space. You can, Colleen, but when you sew this out, they are pretty close already. So if I would make that big closer to the outside edge, it's actually, you might actually sew over them. You could, but they're only about, when I sew this out, it's only about less than a quarter of an inch. It's about just a hair over 1/8 of an inch from the edge. So I don't really want to move those any closer because I might sew over the edges of them. All right, so it's very close already. It doesn't look like it here, but it's very close. It's less than a quarter of an inch. All right, so let's see. So I'm trying to put the tail of my G kind of in between a couple of the little decorative things. So I'm just kind of moving it around so that it's kind of close to like in between there, so it won't get lost. Okay, so what do you think of that? So I got Irish Blessing underneath. Okay. Oh, when you play around with this stuff though, you just have to kind of play with it until it gets like you like it. I just play with it and move it up and down until I get it where I want it. Okay. So I think that looks pretty good. All right. I'm looking to see what else I did here. Oh, and I did do, okay. So there's colors that came in with the clovers, and this was one of the older designs. And when the clover colors came in, they actually came in the Floriani colors. So I'm going to look at these right here. If you look over here in the sequence view, and I know I had done these all originally in Floriani. So the grouped design right here are these colors at the end down at the bottom. All right. So what I'm going to do is I want to ungroup that clover design to make sure that I can change some colors if I need to. So I'm just going to, where it says group here, I'm just going to right click on it and I'm going to ungroup. Okay, so that whole clover design is now ungrouped. And I can always group it back together again if I need to. But it was used, yes, Barb, yes, I can change that. I actually made mine green. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ungroup the clovers so I know where I'm at. And I'm going to click this little negative sign down here at the bottom to get rid of some of the colors that I'm not using. And I'm going to change the colors of the main things. So I want to do like the beginning things, it doesn't matter what color they are. Okay, I just need them to stop. So if I wanted to change my stippling, I made my stippling white. So I'm going to actually change color number 4 to a Floriani, and I use kind of a cream. So we'll just use Floriani since the rest of it's already in there. And I kind of used, I think I used like 730 or 720. So let's try 730. It's kind of an off-white. Okay. And so then the stippling, you might not be able to see it very well on the screen now, but I made it kind of an off-white. And then I want the lettering, or I'm sorry, the outline to be a dark green. And so I actually used, I'm going to use the same colors that are down here. So it was 273 was a lighter green. Oh, this darker one, 233 is what I made my outline in. So if I choose number 5 over here, that 5th step, I can right click on my darker green color box down here and it will change that to green. All right. So my stippling is now white because I just changed the color. I left clicked on the 4th color box because it was like orange. And then I changed that one to off-white. All right. But I already had the color that I needed for that outline. So I just selected it over in my sequence view. And then I just right clicked to change it to the same color as some of the other colors in that design. Okay. Like that. So I just right clicked on that. And then it changed it to number 7. Okay. And then let's see. Let's see. The Irish Blessing, I want it to be a green, but I think I'm going to do one of the little bit lighter greens. And I think I'll try 229. It's kind of a limey green. Yes. So if you want to change a color in your design to one that's already in it, that's what I'm doing right now. Okay. I am choosing the word Irish Blessing. Okay. And I'm going to right click on the color down here that I want it to be. And I want it to be one of these 4 greens. And I'm going to use the color number 8 on here. So I'm just going to right click on that box and it will change the color to that green. Okay. So I wanted it to be green. And then my words, the rest of my words, I would like my rest of my words to be gold. I actually sewed them out in a metallic gold. So let's choose the letters. And I think I'm just going to change the whole thing to a gold. So let's go back to color box number 2 is what the letters are in right now. So I'm just going to left click on color box number 2 and make it gold, a gold. So I know one of my favorite golds is, let's see, which one do I want? I like some of these, let's see here. These are more yellows. Let's see what I got here. I think it's 560 is one of my favorite golds. So I'm going to make that. I just clicked on color box number 2 and I'm going to make it gold. Okay. So that's how I changed the colors in my design. Okay. The first couple colors were just color stops. So what I did when I actually sewed this out is I sewed step number 1, 2, 3, 4 in that off-white because I used it for the like tack down lines and stuff. And then color number 5, step number 5, I sewed in the green. And then color 6 was, or step number 6 was going to be starting of my clovers. Okay. So then and to me, these are shamrocks because they're three leaved instead of 4 leaved, but they called them clovers. So, okay. So that's how I kind of colored it so that I could see what colors I wanted. Now your machine may or may not bring these colors up. So I'm going to show you how to print off a color change chart so you can see the colors on the piece of paper. Okay. So what do you think? Do you think that looks okay? I think we got the bees below the little shamrock here. Nothing's touching at the top. And Irish Blessing looks good. And it's kind of in between one of the little asterisks down here. I think I got everything spelled right, hopefully. Okay. And so at this point, I'm going to go to File, Save As. So now we know that my original design, that one that says Welcome Spring, is not going to be damaged in any way. File, Save As. I'm going to click Save As. And then I'm going to call it, instead of Welcome Spring, I'm going to call it Irish Blessing. And I'm actually going to save this outside on the desktop because I already have them in my folder. But I am going to leave this as a C2S file. It's very, very important that you do save it as a C2S file because then you can always go back and change something if you need to. What was the yellow number? I changed color number 2 to 560, and color number 5 was one of my outlines. So it's just still going to be yellow. It doesn't matter. I normally change the colors in the design to the one that like the actual embroidery part. I'll change them so I can see it on the screen in the right colors. But then you can do it any colors you want. I mean, you could just left it exactly as it was, and then you can change the colors as you're going. Okay. All right. So I'm going to save this as a C2S first. So I'm just saving it on my desktop. And then I need a PES file to put it in my sewing machine. So I'm going to go File, Save As again. And then I'm going to save it. I'm going to choose the Brother Baby Lock Bernina PES version 9. So I'm going to choose that. If you're using a multi-needle, use the one above it that says multi-needle at the end. Okay. So I'm just going to use the regular PES version 9. And I'm going to save that on my desktop. So it'll also be called Irish Blessing. Okay. So now if I want to print this out, and I have a printout here of what I did. I'm just to show you how to print this out. I would go up to my little printer, print preview icon up here. It looks like a printer. Okay. And then I can tell it what I want it to print out. So I don't really care what's on the first page. In this case, I mostly need my color chart. So let's go to the settings. And I don't really need the crosshairs. I would like it to be actual size. I'd like it to be realistic and in stitches. But I want the color analysis. So I'm going to click color analysis, and that way I'm going to click OK. So then it's just going to have the picture of my design so I can kind of see the colors, And then if I go to the second page, it's going to have the color analysis. And then this is going to come up and print out what, each little section as I do it, and what color I used and what color I chose for that. And these are all going to say Floriani. Okay. So it's nice to be able, I'll bring it up a little bit bigger so you can see it, but you can see like the first step is just an outline and it was still on that weird blue color, but that's fine. Okay. And then the second color is the gold that we chose to do the letters in. And then there's a green for the, another outline. and then the off-white is going to be our stippling. Okay. 5 is going to be the decorative stitching, and we chose 233, and then the lettering, and then it starts working on the shamrocks, all the shamrocks. There's all the colors of those. Okay. So it's nice to I just kind of, oh, you know what? I missed one step though. We're going to have to resave this because, I missed one step. Remember that last step needs to go at the end because I forgot about that. So the last step, we needed the first step was the placement line for the batting. The second step was the tack down for the batting. Third step was the tack down for the fabric, front fabric, and then the stippling, and then the decorative outline. But remember that one last step that was at the end, we need that to be at the end. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth step needs to actually be at the end. So I'm going to grab a hold of that, and we're just going to pull it down to the end. So let's grab that because we need that to be at the end because that's what's going to sew this all together at the end. Okay. So I forgot to do that. So we'll resave it. All right. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And then the shamrocks, and then the words, and then the outline that's going to sew the whole thing together. Okay. And you can regroup it, Jan, if you want. I don't always regroup it because it you can if you want. You can group the whole thing if you want. You can just group the shamrocks, but you don't have to. I don't always regroup it. It depends on how much I need to work with it and move it around on the screen. If I need to, then I would regroup it again. Okay, so now let's resave it again. Let's go File, Save As, since we made that very important change. And I'm going to leave it on my desktop. I'm going to save it. Now it's going to say, do you want to replace it? Yes, I do. Okay, and then we're going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to save it also as my PES file. Okay, and again, it's going to ask me, do I want to resave it or save over it? And yes, I do, because we need to make sure we have that at the end. Yet that's also the step that holds the hanging ribbons. So I'll go through the sewing part now. But that little, I always like to print out stuff, with a color analysis that helps me know which colors I've chosen. So if I go to the second page now, you'll see it because now that outline is going to be at the end. That's where I noticed it was then. So let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see. So here's the color analysis now. So first step, placement line for the batting. Second step, tack down line for the batting. Third step is going to be the tack down line for the fabric. Fourth step is going to be the stippling. Fifth step is going to be the decorative outline. And then it's going to start all the little clover design. Then it's going to do the lettering, and then the Irish Blessing lettering. And then the final step will be the sewing it together and putting the little hangers on. Okay. I also gave you in the folder the instructions on how to sew it. So I did write those out for you. Okay. So let's just go over those a little bit. I have those written out for you, and I gave you the cutting instructions. So you need to cut, the front fabric is 7 by 7. I made mine white, and then the batting is cut 7 by 7. And then you have 2 backing pieces that are 4.5 by 7. And I ironed one of them over 1/2 inch and put on some of that Steam-A-Seam 2 on it. Okay, to hold it together because I like to iron them together. And then you need 2 pieces of ribbon, and I used like 5/8 inch ribbon. You need 2 pieces that are 2 inches long to make the little hangers on there. Okay. You could do that. I don't need to, because what I do, Lynn, is I put the ribbons down and touch the outline, the decorative outline. I have the loop touch that, and so I don't put placement lines on. Okay. And yes, do you have a place to change it to Dime Exquisite? Yes. So that's a good question. So what we're going to do, so if you wanted it to be in a different color scheme, you could actually just select everything, Or you can just go down here at the bottom, and there's a little icon at the bottom, set background color. Let's see, change the palette. Okay. The palette is right next to the positive and negative, plus and negative sign. And then if you click on this, then I could go in here. Right now it's in Floriani. And if I wanted to be in some other, let's say she said, well, could we put it in exquisite? Yes, you could put it in exquisite. So I can just go in here and find exquisite 40. And then it would just change the whole thing to exquisite thread. Okay. And then you click OK. And now if you look over in your sequence view, it's all in exquisite threads. And if you hover your mouse down here, these are all exquisite threads now instead of Floriani. Okay. Or I could have chosen the brother threads. You know, I could have chosen my brother embroidery threads instead. Okay. I'm not going to have as many choices because they only have the older ones. So that's why I left it in Floriani, because I have more colors available in the Floriani colors than in my original 60 colors of brother. Okay. So that's how you do it. And that little button at the bottom, change palette, it's way down on the bottom right. You can change the whole lot all at the same time at any time. Makes it so fast. So you can just go up here and reset the brand too, and you just tell it which one you want. Like, oh, I want to go to Isacord. And then I click OK, and now they're all in Isacord. Okay, so it makes it really easy to do that. All right, so I'm going to put mine back on Floriani, and we're going to talk about how to stitch this out. Okay, so I think did I get it? I don't know if I got it back. I think so. It ended up with different colors because I've changed it so many times. When you do color changes, I'm just going to go back a few to see if I can get it back to where it was. There we go. Okay. When you keep changing it back and forth, the color chooses, it's electronic, color choices. So it will choose a color that's as close as it can get. And if you keep going back and forth from one to another, you're going to notice it's going to start changing it. So it did. So I just switched it back to, I just hit my back button, my undo button to go back. So, okay. All right. So we know what we need and like I said, this is all printed out. It's in the folder that you can download and you can print this out. So the first step is the placement line for the batting. You're going to sew that out on, we're going to be hooping just no-show mesh stabilizer. Okay. And then you're going to just on the stabilizer stitch the placement line for the batting. You're going to lay your batting down. Then you're going to stitch number 2, which will be the tack down line for your batting. Then you're going to trim the batting close to the stitches, and you're going to lay your front fabric over the batting. I did not put shape flex on it. You can if you want to. You don't always have to, and I did not in this case. Okay. Then the next step is going to be the tack down line for the front. So mine was white, and I just laid it down over the batting and did the tack down line for the front. Then step number 4 is the quilting, and I did that again in the white, kind of an off-white. And then the next step 5 is the decorative outline. So it's going to be the little asterisk looking things around the outside edge. And then step number 6 is kind of the light swirls in the clover design. And 7 is the darker swirls. And then 8 is the shamrocks, the first part of the shamrocks. 9 is the second part of the shamrocks, and 10 is the third part of the shamrocks. Now, they call it clovers. They look like shamrocks to me, so that's why it said shamrocks. Then 11, step number 11 is the shamrock outline. So it kind of does like a little satin outline or a running stitch outline around all the little shamrocks. Then 12 is the blessing. So step number 12 is actually the may your troubles be less and your blessings be more and nothing but happiness come through your door. Okay. And then step number 13 is the little words Irish Blessing at the bottom. Then at this point, I'm going to fold my ribbon in half, each one of my pieces. They're 2 inches long. and I'm going to fold them in half. And what I did, and I don't know if you can see my cursor, but I laid the folded edge right along the left and right edges of this decorative line. So like the outside edge of the ribbon is kind of like right here, and it goes in on each side. And then that's where the fold is like at the bottom of those. Okay. And then the raw edges of the ribbon are up in the seam, and I taped them down. And then I placed the backing over. So place the back piece with the hem pressed in right side down over the design. And you can either put it on the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter. Just put the one that you've pressed the 1/2 inch hem in down first. And then lay the second piece that you did not fold a hem into on top. And these are right sides together. Okay. Then step number 14 is the backing sewing line. So it's going to sew the back on. So make sure you tape your tape or glue your ribbon down, and then also that opening that's along the middle where the two pieces of fabric go together. Put a piece of tape across there too, just to make sure your foot doesn't catch that. Okay. All right. Then you're going to, the last step is going to be remove the design from the hoop. You're going to trim it about 1/4 inch all the way around. You're going to turn it right side out, and then use the little steam-a-seam 2 to close the opening on the back. Okay. So if I could bring my camera back up, then you can see what I have done. And I can point to you where I put the ribbons. Okay. All right. So there's quite a few steps in it, and it does take a little while to stitch out, because those little that shamrock design takes a little while to stitch out. So, but does anybody have any more questions about what's going on in the steps? So does that making sense to everybody? Because there should be, Jan said something about steps, but there are 14 steps in the design. Okay, there are 14 steps. If you did not change the colors, Jan, of some of your letters, they may have grouped together under the same color. All right, so that may be why you have less steps. All right. And make sure you choose that last outline, and make sure you pull it down to the bottom so that it sews last, because that's how you change the sewing order. Okay. So let me bring my camera back up here. Give me just a second. I can share my screen again if I need to. Okay. So what I did, let me take this off of here. The little stands. Somebody asked about the little stands. You can get these on shieldsewingcenter.com. We have them in stock. And so I can ship these to you. They're about, it seems like they're around $20 or $25 now. They kind of went up a little bit, but they're not too expensive. Then you can just, you can make all of these, because these are all up on the group. You make all of these and you can just hang different ones on. So I thought I'd do this one for a little while, and then I'll put the the Welcome Spring one up. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by so see where I put can you see where I put when I put these in, I put the folded edge down, and I put it like on the inside here, and at the bottom of I kind of laid it in like that when I laid it in, and then the raw edges are up. Okay, can you kind of see where I put them in? Yeah, aren't these nice? Wouldn't these make nice gifts for people? Then they'd have something for the whole year. Because I've made quite a few, but I think we'll make some more, because I've never done a fall one, or we need to do a Thanksgiving one, I think. And we've never done a Christmas one in the software. Those were done in the machine. So I think we'll do some more of these, because I love these little things, and it's nice to have them out. I like to put things out. So can everybody see? And then what I mean by the back, see the back, this is the piece that had I just folded down about 1/2 inch and just pressed it. And then there was some of that steam-a-seam 2 in there that I ironed it in there and shut that little backing part. Okay. So what do you think? Is that a fun little project? I think you'll understand the instructions, but you need to use For some reason, I didn't put in here, you need to use no-show mesh stabilizer. I don't know why I didn't put it in here, but I didn't. I usually put it in underneath the word sewing instructions, hoop, no-show mesh stabilizer. I don't know why I didn't put it in there, but I didn't. So that is the kind of stabilizer I use, is no-show mesh. When I use batting, I usually do that. So, okay. And then the little stand sits up here, and you just slide these on your little pieces of ribbon. So it makes a nice little project. There we go. See if I can get it back on here again. I always have trouble getting them on. There we go. So what do you think? I love these little stands. This is like my favorite little stand. Oh, Marianne says she still has her winter one up. You ready for some spring ones? You probably did Welcome Spring, didn't you? So Welcome Spring was the one, we did this a while ago. Was it 1 or 2 springs ago? I don't remember if we did it last spring or the spring before, but then I'll put that one up. And then, I did the little bunny. I love the little bunny tushy. So that one was fun. And then America the Beautiful. So I'll put that one up around Memorial Day. That's kind of the summer one I leave up. And then this is for Halloween. So here's one for Halloween. And then I did a fall one, but I don't have one that's for Thanksgiving. So maybe we'll do a Thanksgiving. And then this one, but this one was done in the machine. We could do the same thing. We just did it in the machine in the Design Center instead. And then this one I also did in Design Center. The Snow Much Fun one with the little, it's like a snow globe on it. So that one was fun. But might do some more Christmas, might do another Christmas one this year and another like a Thanksgiving one. But they're really fun. So I have put in the group. So these two here, when you go to the first post on Facebook on the group, these are under the sewing end. Okay, so these are in the sewing Dropbox. Okay, because these were done in IQ Designer Design Center. The rest of these are all in the software Dropbox. So there's 2 Dropboxes now, remember. So these are all in there, but there's PES files for all of these in those boxes, and you can sew them all out, including the one we just did tonight. Okay. So then if you don't have the software or you don't have IQ Designer, you can still sew them out because they're fun. Okay. So are there any questions? Does that make sense? Did that make sense to everybody? Sorry, I forgot about the outline, pulling it down. So don't forget to do that at the end, is to pull that down. And like here is my printout. Hold this up. So here's my printout. I left the outlines on this one. You wouldn't have had to. I liked it better without it. And then here's my little thread chart. Now I will tell you, if you want to know, I did do this in the brother color, so I can tell you what I did. I used white for the stippling on this. I actually had white fabric. I thought I had cream, but I had white. And then I'll tell you which ones I used for brother. I used emerald green, which is like 507, I believe. I used lime green, 1072. And I used leaf green, which is 509. And I used mint green, which is 502. And then I used the Floriani MG2 metallic thread for the wording. And that's it. So I used 507, brother 507 emerald, brother lime 1072, brother 509 leaf green, brother 502 mint green, and then I used the dime MG2 for the gold. Okay. But yeah, please let people know if people ask, you can just get the PES files. I know some of you don't have software, but you'd still want to stitch these out. So I tried to put a PES file in every one. So, and I had to go back and add a couple because a couple of these I hadn't. So I went ahead and added the PES file, so you can go back and stitch all of these out. So yeah, there's quite a few of them now. How many have we done? 2, 4, 6. We've done 7. So we'll do some more. I just love those. And I just love this little stand. I have it sitting on my father made a little end table. And so I have that little end table at my house now. When he was in high school, in shop class, and it's the cutest little end table, but it's very delicate. You know, I can't put much weight on it, but this little stand stands on it really cute. So I have this, and I can change all my little signs, my little mini quilts. I can change them for the season. So I like that. Okay. Now the other thing I wanted to show you, the next week, we're going to go back and do another one of the cuties. The second my cat dropped everything on the floor. So we're going to do the April one. What hoop size do you need? I did this in the 6x6. Brother has a 6x6 hoop. You could do it in an 8x8 or a 6x10. It'll fit in the 6-inch hoops. So you don't need a real big hoop. I have that 6x6 that I used this one for this one. Because it's about, let's see how big it is. Let me look at give me a second here. I'll look. It is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So fits in the 6x6. I made it fit in that 6x6 hoop. Okay. So next week we're going to piece this. This is the April cutie. And we're going to be doing some strip piecing. So it's a little different. We're going to strip piece these little squares in the center. It's really easy. I know it looks like it's a lot of work, but it's very simple. And then the next week we'll do the embroidery. So we're going to start working on another one of these. And then after 2 weeks of the cutie, and then the following week will be the little toolbox for our scan and cut. So I put my name on it, and then tools on the other side. And I got this box at the dollar store. I put a list of supplies for this project in the description of the event. So you can go look at that on the group. Okay. And then you basically just need your scan and cut and this is vinyl, adhesive vinyl. So, oh, Lynn says she needs to get busy on her March cutie. So you haven't got your March one done yet? We're moving on to April, Lynn. So, all right. So next week we'll go back to the cutie. We'll be doing some sewing, and then we're also going to do another software class. We're going to do another software class at the end of March. So I haven't decided what we're going to do yet. I was thinking maybe we might do some more lettering. So I've been thinking of a few things. So, all right. So next week we're going to be back to the sewing machine, and I will see you soon. And if you have any questions about this, let me know. And then for those of people that are watching on YouTube, all of the information will be in a link below the video in the description. And then for those of you that belong to the group, it's in that first, all the stuff you can download is in the first, oh, guess what? I almost forgot. You guys have been so good about asking questions and stuff. I almost forgot we have to have a drawing. I have to go grab a drawing. Hang on for a minute. We got to have a drawing. I almost forgot. I stuffed the bag underneath the table. We have to have a drawing yet. Let's see. What can we give away this week? I've got some really cool things in here. Let's see. Ooh. You know, this is one of my favorite classes. I know this is going to make you all laugh. But this is one of my favorite classes. We made these little chicken pin cushions. I just loved these. These were so much fun. So I'm going to give somebody away. I'm going to give away one of the little chicken pin cushions we made. Did this one quite a while ago. So, okay. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to move all these different people around. And now remember, if you win this and you're from away, remember you need to personal message me your mailing address. And if you're a local person, you can pick it up at one of the stores. So the second here, I'm gonna mix up the comments here, and I'm put my finger down. Okay, look who it is. It's Shannon Brott. Shannon won. I think maybe Shannon. I'm not sure if Shannon had to leave. But if she did, Shannon, you won the little chicken pin cushion. So you'll have to send me your mailing address because I don't have it. So, okay. So I don't know if Shannon's still here or not. She talked about maybe having to leave a little while ago. So if she'll go back and watch it though, I know. Okay. So Shannon Brott won the little chicken. So I'll put Shannon's name on it. So don't let me forget that next week. We have to do she had to leave. I thought she did. So yeah. So if you know Shannon, text her. Otherwise, I know she'll come back and listen to the video, and she'll learn that she won. So I will send this to Shannon. So thanks, everybody. We'll be seeing you next week. Have a good day.